Okay, welcome to DragonWorks. 1997 Honda TRX300EX. And the customer had reached out for some help here. He had purchased this thing for a father-son project and might have been a little misled from the seller about what was going on here with it, but he just wanted to tinker and get something running and have a little time with him and his son, what have you, and quickly realized that it was a little more involved than what he first anticipated. And what the main trouble he was having was starter issues. It was just kind of clicking. He would hear some weird noises, but it wasn't turning the engine over. So he ended up purchasing a new starter off of Amazon or what have you. And when he got it, he found out that the tail section was incorrect. It was actually backwards, upside down, whatever you want to say there. So he had taken this tail section off and put it on this one, and then was trying it, and things weren't working out. And that's kind of when he just stopped and said, hey, maybe I better reach out and get some help here. What I found out was, in doing that, not only was it there was something out of alignment, it was really causing some trouble there, grinding and carrying on, but it was also making this starter spin backwards. So this thing has a starter clutch, which we're going to talk about here in a second, and that just won't work. So it was just free spinning, it wasn't turning the engine over. So one thing I did was just to find out, because I was still diagnosing this thing at this point, was I did the reverse. I took some parts out of here and put in this good starter and made it work. But what that ended up telling me was it turned the engine enough to realize that we had even more problems than the bad starters. This thing has a starter clutch on it, which is basically a one-way bearing. And when I pulled it off, it just basically fell to pieces. These are, like I say, it's a one-way bearing, so it allows it to free spin in one direction, but when the starter is engaged, it will actually grab and turn the motor over via this little hub it grabs a hold of, and that is connected to, you can see the keyway right there, the little squared off hole. Excuse me. That lines up with the keyway here, and this is the crankshaft, and that in turn spins the crank and turns the motor over. So when these things go bad, you get all kinds of weird things happening, but that's a no-go. So we got to rectify this problem so we can turn the motor over. But I did get it turned enough with that old starter to find out that the engine had excellent compression. It was like 180. I think I'll even get more once I can get it going in a bunch of revolutions, but just in like 1 or 2 revolutions I got out of it, he had 180. So we were real worried about this motor because it just looked, like we were going to have problems. But we'll see what's going on with it when we get there. But first, we have to cross this hurdle of actually getting this thing to turn over. Why I did have it spinning a little, I did realize we had spark. He also purchased an aftermarket carburetor here, brand new. And so we're going to try that thing out. If that doesn't work, I told him to bring the old carburetor here, the original one, and I'll rebuild that thing. But anyway, the point of that is we've got the, let me back up here with the camera. I've got this extreme close-up. So I know we got spark, and we know we're going to get fuel one way or another. And we got compression, so boom, this thing's definitely going to run. Excuse me, there is a lot more stuff to do to this bike. It has no back brake whatsoever. It's just totally missing. The master cylinder, the brake pedal, the caliper, all that stuff's missing, so we got to get that taken care of too. But first things first, we want to get it up and running. And again, this is one of those little projects that come in and kind of slip through the cracks. But the thing started getting a little bit involved here, and I decided to show you guys some of the other things that I get caught up in. Now the customer has the plastics with him. Save a little bit of time and money. He went ahead and stripped it down because he was working on it anyway. So he has all the plastics and everything. He says they look really nice, actually. So he's got that stuff here. I'm just trying to get it up and running for him. I'll probably do that. Well, I am going to do the brake and a couple other things, and then they'll take it from there. It also needs some suspension and steering work here. That's stuff that they can do together and, you know, have their father-son time still on the project. So anyway, that's going to be about it. I just wanted to shoot a quick video, and you know how it is. I get to rambling on, and I'll talk all day about motorcycles if you let me. So time to get off here and get back to work. Appreciate you all tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Send some work. Peace out.